Hey everybody, good morning. I got a really important message to communicate out, and I have precious little time to do it, so that's why I'm in my car on the fly. If you don't know me, I'm Eric Osborne. I have been a psychedelic facilitator, mushroom cultivator for 25 years. This has been my life. I've built retreat companies. We're currently running a church, psilocybin mushroom church, and the news coming out this morning about the United CEO killer being caught. Well, I'm sure glad that he was found, but what I'm not glad about is that one of the things that is being focused on in the reporting that I'm seeing anyway, especially from CNN, is that this individual was a fan of Michael Pollan's book, had read his book, was a psychedelic user himself, was a registered independent politically, and was a supporter of RFK in particular. And the reason I want to comment to this, first and foremost, is the psychedelic side. It seems to me that fairly obvious that there has been and will continue to be an effort to undermine the psychedelic community, particularly the psychedelic community that does not that is self-administrative, that takes psychedelics on their own in a ceremonial setting, not under the auspices of a mental health provider. And I'm here to tell you, if you don't already know, that psychedelics do not require a mental health practitioner to be effective. As a matter of fact, in the work that I've done over the years, some of the most ineffective and actually harmful facilitators that I have seen in practice were mental health practitioners, because they themselves did not use these medicines. Now, that's a whole big other rant that I'm not really going to go onto right now, or conversation that I don't want to start. What I do want to have a conversation around, try to generate conversation around, is that the vast majority of psychedelic users, particularly those who work with plant medicines, are peace-loving people who are really hoping to see an end to war, an end to violence. And it is very disheartening that that is so seldomly, if ever, portrayed in the media. But anytime someone who is, an extremist that also uses psychedelics does something wrong, well, that is cited as one of the contributing factors. And like, one of the things that it really irks me about Michael Pollan's work is that him and other media outlets, including CNN and Fox and these places that are now going to probably speak ill of psychedelics and how they may have influenced this individual's lifestyle or actions, is that psychedelics have been grossly misrepresented. And I saw this enormously. So I've had the great honor and privilege to be at the forefront of this revolution. I'm not one of the most well-known people, because I'm one of the most independent thinkers, I think, in this field. I've been doing this a long time by myself, and I didn't ask for permission from anyone. I was arrested for psilocybin, and I continued to push forward this cause. That was 2015. So what I want to just really highlight here is that psychedelics, as some of you may know, many of you probably don't, are non-specific amplifiers. Whatever is within your field of energy, your psyche, your spirit, psychedelics are going to have a tendency to amplify that. They are not going to make you into a peace-loving hippie. They can have that effect over extended period of time with conscious integration and actual, work outside the psychedelic space. But I have seen way too many psychedelic leaders who are blatant narcissists, and their use of psychedelics has only accentuated their narcissism. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I'm not well known, and I'll take it, because I'd rather be not well known than be a sociopath or a narcissist. The other thing, the other side of this is that those of us who are conscientious, spiritually grounded practitioners, users of psychedelics, particularly psilocybin, which is the most ubiquitous psychedelic and is the one that is the most difficult to be controlled, let's just say, because they're so easily grown, they're wild all over the place. Here in Kentucky, we have Ovoidiosa stadiata that we pick in the spring in abundance, free, all over the place. And so what I want to speak to is the need for us to come together, and that's why we created Sanctuary. I mean, for a couple of reasons, Sanctuary was created, but first and foremost is so that there can be a place where conscientious, conscious, compassionate, peace-loving, psychedelic explorers who see psilocybin as a sacrament can come together and just share space, support each other, and also support the cause. It is still so crucial. Such a small percentage of the population actually uses psychedelics, and those that have been working with psychedelics since Michael Pollan's book came out and all the other stuff, most of those folks are still very uninformed. I cannot tell you the number of times I have had to help people come to terms with an experience that didn't fit the bill that Michael Pollan described. It's an enormous disservice to the work. It's an enormous disservice to the community, and those of us who understand, to the extent that we can, the power and the benefit of these medicines and the risks of these medicines, these sacred medicines, these sacraments. Those two are interchangeable. We have, for historically, psilocybin in particular has been considered a medicine and a sacrament. The current medical community is appropriating the spiritual, sacred, medicinal use of these plants right now. It doesn't belong to the mental health community. So those of us who are spiritual practitioners and understand that this is first and foremost a spiritual technology that allows to improve our psychology, you're invited. Come over to Sanctuary. Be a member of this community. If you are a peace-loving person who wants to see a social advancement, proper, even representation of psychedelics, not a Pollyanna version that was often presented by media, or an extreme negative position that is likely to be coming to the surface here soon, then I encourage you, maybe not Sanctuary, that's fine. Like, just go somewhere. Go to a community of conscientious practitioners where you can be supported and help support the movement and support other people. It's really about what we bring to wherever we go, right? So, there's so much more that we could talk about on this. I'd love to hear some comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think that psychedelics have a place in society, or are they just too risky? I think hopefully if you've made it this far, you don't think that, because, man, they have helped society become what it is. So anyway, they are not a panacea. There's a lot of reason to have caution, patience, and support. Real support from peers, from your community, not from medical practitioners who have no understanding of these experiences, of these sacraments, of these medicines. People who see these as another pill that you take to have a solve a problem, right? That's not what these things are. These are for exploring the nature of existence, and then come to terms with that and trying to be a better person if you can. That's going to happen in the context of community, though. So anyway, as someone who has felt the pressure of speaking the truth, yeah, I've often felt like sometimes my life could be threatened as well. So anyway, I just want to encourage everybody to commune with love, join communities that are supportive and peaceful, please. We need more love in this world. War and violence is not going to solve war and violence. Anyway, I love y'all. Thanks for listening, and hope to hear some feedback from you and your thoughts as well.